Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
And I'm not happy about this.
And today we are taking a look at Resident Evil Code Veronica, which came out on the 3rd of February in the year 2000 for the Dreamcast. Since then, it was ported to the PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, and GameCube. And I'm after doing the Resident Evil films last year, I'd replayed through the first 3 Resident Evil games, and then I got onto Code Veronica, and this was all an attempt for me to replay some Resident Evils and get myself ready for Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
So, before we get to all those later Resident Evils, I figured we still got the other Resident Evil games to talk about.
Yeah.
And you've said you're not happy already. What's wrong, Ian?
Man, I don't like this fucking game.
Why?
You know, at the time, right, Resident Evil was a fucking big part of my life. You know, I persevered through the first one, second one, third one. I'd done Survivor. You know, I was in it to the fucking end. And then all of a sudden, Code Veronica drops and they go, exclusive to Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Exclusive to Dreamcast. I believe at the same time, just as soon after the PS2 would come out. And I maybe knew about 2 people who had a copy of the Dreamcast with Code Veronica, and they raved about it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the only good game on the Dreamcast. Oh yeah, but it's worth it. It was not worth it. It was not worth, I say the same thing nowadays. It's not worth buying a fucking 300 quid console for one game. You need a bunch of games to come out for it. So this game came out and I was just like, okay, I'm already annoyed first. I'm going to have to sit down and play this.
Yeah, so I can understand, because I was annoyed with Capcom, because after the Dreamcast debacle, they went Resident Evil 4 exclusive only to GameCube.
Right, yeah.
And it was like, so that it was at that point, when Resident Evil 4 came out, that I'd just gone, okay, I'm done jumping consoles and platforms to try and keep up with the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah.
Because if it's Capcom's way, I'll have to buy every single console.
Exactly.
To play every single game. But
I
kept to my guns as I'm staying with the PlayStation for now, and eventually it came to the PS2.
Yeah, eventually. But there was also, when I was playing it on Dreamcast, there were a couple of things that annoyed me about the game. Now, first off, graphically, I didn't think it was very good.
What?
It seemed up to date, but it was too smooth. It was too smooth to me. It was too nice. It's like they tried to make everything look like the cut sequences, but the game didn't play like cut sequences. Like, this is all ultimately massively dramatic.
Well, so much so that they borrowed it for the film.
Now, this also brings me on to the story of the game. Right now, we've just gone through 1, 2, and 3. Umbrella's starting to fall. The shit's going down. And Claire's looking for her brother in this film. This game, sorry.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Resident Evil 1, he seemed to have disappeared. She's coming at number 2. And nobody knows where he is. Now, not going too majorly into spoilers, it gets Resident Evil crazy. This is probably where it would start getting Resident Evil crazy. We start in the prison.
In this one, yeah.
We head to Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's a fucking under-level base up there.
Yeah.
There's a guy who works for Umbrella that we've never heard of before, but he's pretty much high up the fucking rankings because he's got all the equipment and all of the test subjects and all that crazy shit that all Umbrella top scientists
talking about
have.
the Ashford family?
The Ashford family. And he's trying to get his sister, who's part mutagenic or whatever, and she ultimately ends up becoming the last boss because she's infected by the T-virus. And it just got fucking crazy, Gary, because then, spoilers, Wesker will come in at some point, which was really good.
Yeah, it set up the whole Chris v. Wesker thing for Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, which was, not amazing. Anyway, my point was, I got to this game and I just was kind of not happy with the way that they'd taken the path with it. And for me, Code Veronica, I can actually go without in the Resident Evil series.
That's such a shame. Claire has become one of my favourite characters in the Resident Evil franchise. And this game was originally intended to be Resident Evil 3.
Right.
This was Resident Evil 3, but as they were making it, or I think as they were working on porting Resident Evil 2 for the Saturn, they had trouble doing it, and so they ended up just building up their own game from the ground up.
Yeah.
But because that was taking its time, they then shifted it from being Resident Evil 3 to Code Veronica, and Resident Evil 3 as we know it is Nemesis.
Right, okay.
And this is also the first Resident Evil game where they changed all the pre-rendered backgrounds.
Right, I'm assuming I've got to get my lighter out at this point?
Yes.
Okay, right, so we'll press start, we'll go to
Lighter's up there.
lighter, equip,
Yeah.
and come out.
Hey, you can actually see that.
Right, okay. Now,
So they changed from the pre-render backgrounds to full 3D environments. So all the backgrounds are now just plain.
Before I even move, okay, we're playing Resident Evil Code Veronica X, which is the updated version of the Dreamcast for the PlayStation 2 on an emulator, right?
Yes.
Don't like the look of Claire. So I'm just going to say that. I mean, there's just...
Did you see the Claire model in the last Resident Evil game? You know, she was still kind of like a blank canvas. At least here she has shape and definition, and
yeah, carry on.
graphically it's a big improvement.
Carry on, Garrett, carry on.
Also, they changed the camera work in this one, so the camera's a lot more fluid and dynamic and sort of moves around a lot more.
Right, yeah, so they're aiming for the kind of action aspect which would come in Resident Evil 4 behind the shoulder.
Well, 3 was also pretty action-esque.
Yeah.
You know, every Resident Evil game has gotten a little bit more action,
Yeah.
And this one is still, I think it has a lot of story elements. It still has a lot of scary moments, or foreshadowingly scary moments, jump scares as well.
Yeah, no, it's kind of...
4 onwards, for me, is when it just became action.
I was going to just say, actually, at that point, as much as I do like 4, as a kind of standalone Resident Evil story as it is over top crazy shit again. And yeah, maybe it started from this one, you know? I look at 4 and I think that's not Resident Evil, because the Las Palagas have got nothing to do with the zombies that I know.
The T-virus.
The T-virus, you know? And so when the story starts to get a bit more crazy, like, maybe it's just me, maybe it's the experience I've got. It's like I'm not even starting to feel a little bit scared at this point, because I know something's about to kick off. You know, it's Resident Evil. I'm just waiting for something to kick
Well, the
off.
thing is, everything that's occurred on this island has already happened, so to speak. So
yeah, now maybe we can go into some details about that, because you get the whole Steve Burnside character.
Another prisoner on the island.
Did Wesker cause this shit to kick off, or this island kick off, or is it just another accidental exposure like they have in the other games?
Well, I have to admit, and I when we were doing the Resident Evils, and I played through 1, 2, and 3, and then got to this one, I only got halfway through before the game kicked my ass to the point where, in order to proceed, I would need to start the game all over again.
What?
Because this game is that difficult that there are bosses that when you need to face them, and for those that have played the game and are familiar with Resident Evil, it's you're on a plane and you're flying to Antarctic, and you have to fight the boss on the plane. And in order to defeat him, you've got to kick him off the plane, essentially.
Okay.
And there's a button you can press which smacks a box into him.
Yeah.
And if he's done enough damage, he'll just fall off.
Right, okay.
I used up every grenade, shotgun, and bow shot that I had.
Yeah.
And he's still coming at me.
Why didn't you use the box?
I've used the box, but you've got to wait for it to cool down again before you can use it again. And he will chase you around and kill you. And so, you know, I looked at other people's guides, and they were like, if you don't have enough ammo and enough health, you know, you need to go back to an earlier save. And I'm like, even if I go back to an earlier save, I've got nothing left in my loot box, so to speak, so I would need to start the game again and do better in order to get to this point.
Okay, right. So you're telling me that how do you do better than what you already were?
Take less damage, do it quicker, and don't use up so much ammo. Don't go around killing every enemy, but to slowly progress, or quickly progress and run past everything.
Okay.
Like in this small graveyard section that you'll be in now, where all the zombies are getting up out of the ground, you'll need to you know, essentially run past them all, like what I mastered doing in the earlier Resident Evil games. We can just run past the zombies.
Run past all the zombies, yeah.
So the difficulty spike in this game was the first real major difficulty spike I've ever experienced in a Resident Evil game. And because I was so disheartened and I really wanted to get to Resident Evil 7, I kind of stopped and didn't refinish Code Veronica again.
See, now that's funny because they haven't done that again.
What, that level of difficulty?
Yeah, they haven't gone, right, okay, we're just going to boost it up to 11 for people because, well, people need the challenge. People got the challenge and went, nah. And they've kind of took it back, haven't they? Right, so I've got to fucking run past it. Fuck, I'm going to die at this point, I bet. Right.
But especially if you just keep running into
I
them.
have to run into him to get round him, don't I? Fucking... They're blocking like the whole area. Right, okay. Am I going the right way?
There's a doorway to your right.
To my right. Oh,
Yeah,
glad there.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, it's like, I know that there's a section in the game where you have to put your guns in one area to walk through a security checkpoint to get out to the next area. But, you know, you have to get through monsters and you have no weapons.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Well,
that's not fun in a Resident Evil. That's not fun in any fucking situation, you know. Apart from the Metal Gear Solid,
the
maybe.
survival horror element. Now, there's another thing that this game does annoy me a little bit more than some of the previous games in the series is that your item inventory management needs to be on point because you'll pick up a lot of items that you won't need for hours.
Yeah.
Well, it was in my playthrough anyway. You know, on a pro playthrough, you'd know which order to pick up which items and which to use them in.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of inventory clutter. There was a lot of things that you needed just to open one door. And only for behind it would another door that would need 3 more things.
Oh, what?
And it'd be like, okay, so backtrack and wander around some more. And then you need to go and get this to open that. You know, it's typical Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that because I was about to say something. You know, I don't like a game where I'll only find it fun after I've attempted to play through it 3 times. You know, I want to get through those 3 playthroughs and get something at the end other than, I know which door I've got to go to first. You know, when I played Resident Evil 1, you know, I didn't have a memory card at the time. I had to completely play through it all the way through. But you knew, like you said, run past certain monsters, get to certain doors. Okay, you've got a key. It says helmet. So what do? You check every door as you go, and you keep it with you. You find fertilizer. You haven't even found the plant yet. Just put it in the box and leave it there. Run off. Oh, I found the plant now. Come back, grab it, do it. You're telling me in this, I've got to play through it 2 or 3 times to be able to go. Okay, that's how I get this quicker.
Well, I mean,
to be able to get past that helicopter.
That's the thing for all Resident Evil fans is that we will replay every Resident Evil game to get the par times in order to unlock, the infinite ammos or the rocket launchers or costumes and things like that.
Yeah, but after I've done that, I don't go back because I'm like, I don't need to go back. I've already got the rocket launcher. I've already gone through it once. If I go through it with a rocket launcher, I'm going to kick ass.
Well, it's kind of satisfying to do so. You know, I don't know whether I speak for all Resident Evil fans or major fans, but once you get those weapons, blitzing through a Resident Evil game in a couple of hours, that's the way you can.
Well, yeah, but I need a hawk thingy for that other one.
There's another door I think you can go through.
Oh, okay. So, too dark! I need to get my fucking light out! Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, okay, I know it's a challenge. We all like a challenge, but I'm saying, you're telling me in this game, who are a fan of this game, got halfway through it and stopped.
And stopped because I'd need to play it all through again in order to have more ammo, more health items for that boss encounter. And so that was me. I didn't do good enough. I failed. No, good. Come turn around here.
Turn around this way. Right,
this
okay.
way. To your right there. To left.
That way.
Left. Yeah, there. There's a door there.
The door there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still not defending the game. The fact that you, as a Resident Evil fan, go, no, this game's really, really good, but I stopped playing it halfway through because it was too hard.
Well, it was. I mean, if there was no other Resident Evil games that I was itching to get to, then I would have stayed because I did play this game, and when I first got to that boss encounter, the same thing happened to me the very first time I played the game. So I had to go to the beginning to get to that point, to do it, to get to the Antarctic base.
How many times have you completed this game?
3 times.
3 times in one playthrough.
What?
So you've
never in one sitting.
So you've completed it once. Yes. Unlocked all the stuff
on the
gone
PlayStation
back,
2, yeah.
Completed it again with all the stuff,
and then completed it again because
on the third time.
There was in order to get. I think there was certain cut sequences that wouldn't play if you didn't do certain things relating to Chris. And so I wanted to see all of the stuff related to Chris and Wesker, because that was, for me, that's like the first time we'd seen these characters since Resident Evil 1.
Fuck, I knew there was going to be zombies in there.
Of course there's going to be zombies.
Need to get to a fucking... Right, okay. Right, what's the... There we go. Bang. Bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
Die.
you keep shooting him.
Yeah, no, I just... I'm careful with my ammo. That's how I play Resident Evil games. Right, he's not dead because he's going to get up, but I'm going to need to save the ammo, so...
Also, yeah, you can also see Claire looking around at any useful items.
Yeah, which is standard Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Right, combine there. You're fine at the moment, Claire, so I don't need to use the green herb.
I believe this was also the first Resident Evil that we realised that Wesker had superpowers.
Yes.
Where he had mutants, or he'd infected himself with part of the virus.
Yeah, which was a nice change in the story. You know, it's just... I don't like the fact that they're like, oh, we have to bring Wesker in from the other games that people know.
Because everyone thought he was dead after the first one.
Everyone thinks dead. But these other characters, these Ashfords, yeah, they're fucking gone. You know? It's like they just needed a boss towards the end. Steve Burnside. Tell me about Steve. He's such a brilliant character.
He is probably the weakest character in...
I'm glad you said that.
The Resident Evil franchise.
Because I have Darkside Chronicles on the Wii, the Wii. Sorry.
Okay.
Which Capcom released Darkside Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles, which is a first-person shooter, on-rail shooter.
Yeah.
And has you've got the elements of, in the first one you've got Resident Evil 1, 3 and something else. Oh, a new different story that they've got.
Right.
And then in Darkside Chronicles it was Resident Evil 2, Veronica, and this new story with Leon. Now, I played all the way through, and I played it with my wife, and I was Claire, she was Steve. Oh, look, hi.
I think that zombie's the one carrying the dual machine guns. Machine guns.
Okay, I need to kill him then.
But I think he bursts through, then you kill him, then you get them. I think.
Nice.
There he goes.
There he goes. And yeah, she was Steve, I was Claire. And shot him in the kneecaps. Come on, die. There we go. Fall back.
Is he dead?
No. So.
And is there more?
Yeah, probably. Click his head off. Come on.
There's definitely more.
Fuckity. At least, luckily, I didn't use that green herb.
You might need to now.
Yeah, turn around.
Oh, you're in trouble now. He's going to get you. Oh, shit. Nice.
He can't get me. And halfway through, obviously, Steve ends up buggering off or gets captured.
Yeah.
And the wife became Chris instead, which I really liked. And then Steve became infected with the T virus and we had to kill him.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I had not played Code Veronica, and I'm just like, okay, imagine you're playing Code Veronica, and halfway through the game, the hero, or supposedly the hero, is the guy you have to kill halfway through.
Well, that's because Steve gets captured and injected with the virus.
Bullshit. It's because he ain't Leon.
What?
It's because he's not Leon. He flirts with Claire all the way through, but she kind of really fancies. She still has feelings towards Leon, but she's mainly looking for her brother.
Yeah,
and he's just like,
I don't know if Claire has any romantic relations for Leon at all.
Well, it's in your imagination anyway. It's also his Jack of the Lad kind of abilities.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty resourceful and he knows what he's doing, but at the same time he's also pretty useless.
Should I have gone out that window?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I came the right way.
I think so, yeah.
Oh shit, oh fuck, motherfucker, that's because the other one distracted me, it's right there. I mean, it looks nice, and it probably plays really, really nice as well.
Well, yeah, it continued on from 3, in my opinion, with the terms of the action, the pacing, the setting. It's a lot of people didn't like being taken out of Raccoon City, but I was like, but
you had to get away from
left of Raccoon City.
Yeah, there's nothing left of Raccoon City. You had to get out there, but it, like I said, it just got a little bit too much. Where I have to. So if I'm going to play this game, I have to expect to die halfway through or get stuck and restart it.
You just have to do good. If you play ropey,
but if you don't know what you're doing, like you said, you say play ropey. I want to shoot all these guys with machine guns because we're only playing for half an hour.
But the thing is, you'll never have to come back to this room again. So you're better off just leaving
Like, fuckers.
and trying to leave without taking as much
Can
damage.
they walk up the stairs? Oh, yes, they can. Okay. Right, I need to get my knife out because I'm going to stab these guys. I'm going to go Commando-esque at this point.
You sure?
Yeah, well, I need to save the ammo. I know I don't
going
need...
into a knife fight in a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, well, I'm a fucking Redfield, aren't I? We're trained at this shit. Yeah, I know. I'm probably just... Oh, what? Come on! Boosh!
Just run.
Yeah, I'm running now.
Get out the door.
Yeah, okay. So... Where am I going now?
I
still haven't picked up the Hort crest.
No. Go.
Oh yeah, I came
round
out
the
here.
back of the building.
Back of the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, something creepy's watching you.
Oh, dynamic camera angle. Maybe it's an up panty shot kind of photographer from Japan.
What?
I need to get a gun out. Yeah, I got my knives out. Just get out of that room. But I'm gonna go fucking commando style.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think you can come around here and.
Oh, he looks dead. I think he's dead.
I'm just gonna borrow him for a minute.
Yeah, that doesn't freak me out or anything, you know. Yeah.
I kind of like this game though. I like the prison setting. I like the Ashford mansion. There's a submarine section.
There's a mansion.
There's a mansion, yeah.
In Antarctica.
No, in here in the prison.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, that's not weird.
But then I'm pretty sure there is also the recreation of the mansion in Antarctica. I know that there's a recreation of the Spencer mansion in this game somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is, it's very weird.
Okay, he's going to break out there. Oh, come on!
You're just throwing yourself out.
You didn't even tell me. You knew he was there.
There's
you didn't even fucking tell me.
It's because you can't listen to them. You gotta hear them. I think you're coming up to the weapon box where you got to put all your metal items in to pass through.
Yeah, I remember that in I mean, I don't know if they've changed it now. Where in the Dreamcast version, it did seem like she had T-1000 hands, where she kind of just ran like that and her fingers never moved.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, graphically that was what threw me off.
You still got the lighter on you.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Fine. Right, okay.
Every last bit. There you go. Now you're gonna push the button again.
Fucking push the fucking button. She's looking like how I'm feeling, like, come on, okay. Fucking Chris fucking dragged my ass all the way out to motherfucking here. I told him we should have gone fucking camping, but no, we want to go Raccoon City and fucking... That's what inner monologue. Inner monologue. Fucking look at these people. They're fucking deep as shit. Mum's gonna go fucking crazy when she knows I've been fucking Dad will be happy that I fucking learned how to use my guns. But alright, can I
nothing in there? There's nothing in there.
Oh, well...
It's not going to let you carry your weapons from one side to the other, is it? Sound like the zombies now, eh?
Yeah, well, like I said, it just...
So, where do you rate this one in terms of all the other Resident Evils?
This goes along with Code. This one goes along with Survivor, the first-person shooter. It goes along for me. It's like a non-canon story. You know, like what if Claire had gone off to rescue Chris and had ended up getting involved? Because let's not beat around the bush here. Chris at this moment in time is seeking her, right?
Yes.
And dealing with multiple Umbrella facilities around the world. There's ones in Russia.
Before he joins the BSAA.
That's it. And then he'll go off to Africa and shit like that. And it's just like a coincidence that there's all these fucking places all over the place and all these main characters all end up going to these places as well. Yes, I know that's the game and that's how they're trying to sell the franchise and it keeps it interesting. But Code Veronica came out on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And then the Dreamcast did not sell that well that they had to reformat the game for other consoles. They should have done that first off.
Yeah, but Capcom likes its exclusivity deals. It likes its money.
Butts are for sitting on, not for arguments. They were hoping to sell the Dreamcast, and it didn't sell. There were not that many great games for the Dreamcast. They then re-released
I think that's your opinion. I think there were a lot of great games.
Name another one.
For everyone, I know a lot of people loved. It was the fighting game, story-driven game. Everyone's waiting for its third game.
So well known, you can't even remember.
I hated it. No, I hated it. Shenmue?
No, You're talking Shenmue. Yeah,
It was one of the most beloved games in game history.
Shenmue 2 came out on the Xbox.
Yes, because the Dreamcast was already gone by that point.
I got the Hawk Crest, yeah.
Crazy Taxi was a fantastic game.
Better in the arcade.
Probably, but for a home console,
Yeah, would rather play Destruction Derby 2 as well. What I mean is that we know from evidence that the Dreamcast did not do very well, and so they had to re-release it out onto ports, and they had to redo up the graphics to make it catch up for other games. And by the time it had done that, we did have the start of better games and things in Resident Evil that we knew and loved and recognized. And I don't even look at the Ashfords. You got the brother and sister in this one.
Ashford and Alexia.
Yeah.
Who turns out he's a kind of cross-dressing to play as her. Yeah,
and I mean
that's for me is the bizarre twist in this game. That's just like. Is that Resident Evil? Or...
Push the switch, see what happens. Yeah, but they're not even pinnacle to the story.
Well, not to the major story, but then
exactly.
What is the major Resident Evil story?
The founders of Umbrella and the creators of the T-Virus.
But that's just the beginning, because Resident Evil has now created this, as you said, franchise, this world where there is major advances in science in terms of biology and viruses and things like that, and there are a lot of other pharmaceutical companies all building lots of different viruses and different terrorist organizations getting these biological weapons, and so you then eventually you are all these different agents fighting these bioterrorist units essentially. So that's the best way to keep the Resident Evil franchise alive. But the whole
which now
characters versus Wesker thing, it was only going to go so far.
Yeah, which now they've gone completely away from it by the release of Resident Evil 7.
Yes,
it's more fucking.
This is another bio outbreak, and this is what happened here.
Yeah, it's more Texas Chainsaw Massacre than fucking Night of the Living Dead. What am I doing here? Has been prepared already.
No, you'll need to put a plaque on there to carve out your own thing, which is in a suitcase, which is back outside somewhere.
Okay.
I can see you're just not in the mood to play Resident Evil today.
I love Resident Evil. I just don't like this Resident Evil.
Right.
I just don't like this Resident Evil. The fact that for me at the moment, I can carry the green herb, can't I? Yeah. For me at the moment, I've got to go through all this stuff right at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Right at the start. I haven't even really established what's going on, and I'm having to deal with all this.
Well, I think all the Resident Evils past the first one just kind of threw you into the deep end every time afterwards.
Not 2 and 3.
2 starts you off after an explosion, and you kind of stand there in the street surrounded by zombies.
But you knew why. You knew why, because of obviously all the elements that happened at the mansion, and the STARS members dealing with all their stuff. That's why.
So you bring all that information into this one too.
What's the name of this island, Gary?
I don't know.
Oh, thanks to that.
It's a remote island, It's not. It's a fictional island.
It would still have a name, and as a Resident Evil Code Veronica fan defending it, you should know these little details. You should be able to say to me, Ian, you're talking bullshit. This game is absolutely brilliant because of all these other elements that you were completely missing.
Bullshit. This is a fantastic Resident Evil game,
and yet you still haven't completed it yet.
No, I have completed it. I've completed it multiple times. I just haven't recompleted it, in the last couple of years. But that's because I've been playing all the other Resident Evil games, and there's a lot of them.
And there are some better ones.
There are some better ones, but I would say that this one is definitely better than Resident Evil. I would rather play Code Veronica over Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Resident Evil 6 is pretty shit.
Resident Evil 6 is my least favourite.
Resident Evil 4 and 5 brought it... Resident Evil 4 took it into a new direction.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 5 tried to bring it back to what Veronica had already left. And I will not deny that as Resident Evil fans, you should play every Resident Evil game out there. But
not all of them. No, definitely not all of them.
No, you should.
No, like that Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah, no, you should. As Resident Evil fans, you should try and experience every single one of them. If you are a fan, that's what fans are supposed to do. If you may not enjoy every single one, but you're there to help the franchise keep going so that they can go off and try new things like Veronica, like Resident Evil 4, like Resident Evil 7, and keep us wanting more. This is my own personal thing, and so if you want to tell me I'm a complete dickhead about it, you go right ahead. Still ain't going to change my view on the game. You know, even if I played it all the way through, and I have, but on a first-person arcade shooter on the Wii, I was still like, I'd rather play Resident Evil 2. So I went back to Resident Evil 2. You know?
What, on the arcade?
Yeah, because you could do City of the Dead, which was the Resident Evil 2 playthrough, and you could do the Island of the Damned, which was the Resident Evil Code Veronica playthrough.
Yeah.
And for me, playing as Leon and Claire with Ada, going through all that stuff, was a lot more enjoyable than playing as Claire and Steve.
I don't know. I think it's personal preference at the end of the day, because I really like Claire. I don't like Steve. So yeah, I still think this is a highly rated game. I think it's one of the best in the Resident Evil franchise before it departed solely into schlocky, over-the-top, boulder punching action.
A little bit too hard though.
Difficulty is great, good to have a good difficulty level. It's, be challenging, because there's so many the first 3 Resident Evil games kind of cakewalk them. This one, not so much. So with that, I'm just gonna say, I highly rate the game. If you have a PlayStation, if you have a Dreamcast even, or if not, get an emulator. It's still worth checking out for Resident Evil fans. So with that, I'm going to bring this episode to a finish. We'll definitely be back next week looking at another video game. I definitely want to cover as many Resident Evil games as I can at some point.
Yeah.
Of course, film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.